Hello guys. I enjoyed making this video so much last time that I thought, well, we'll do it again. So today I've got 6 more items which we're going to rate as overrated and underrated. Now, last time we were joined by my partner April, which made things a little bit more interesting. But to add a little bit of breadth of discussion today, I thought I'd bring a third person on, and I thought I'd bring my brother Isaac on. Now, Isaac's got some interesting wild camping opinions, we'll say, so hopefully it'll make this video nice and exciting, and there'll be some decent discussions. Let's meet him. Reach. Right, put it down. So, Isaac's done a decent amount of camping. He's been camping all his life. But what do you think your favourite ever wild camp's been?
I think that cave one was pretty good.
When was that?
That was January 2023.
Oh right, yeah. When
this time last
I'm not
year.
named the cave because I don't want to give the spot away. But what made that like a decent wild camp?
Cook some sausages over the fire. Listen to like Mongolian throat singing inside the cave.
I remember it was absolutely pissing it down. So to be fair, I was quite glad that we were in the cave and not in a tent outside because it'd have been grim.
Yeah.
Come on April, come and join us. We're the Wiggles and we're going to do 6 items which we're going to rate overrated or underrated. April, you have the first item.
Do.
Let's do it.
You're gonna sit
Sorry, I left it up there.
Okay, I brought a life straw.
Just the life straw, not the entire thing.
Just the life straw.
Okay. I don't think it'd fit in there either. Do you want me to count in?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Cards at the ready. 3, 2, 1, go. What do we go for? Right, you've gone different, so you start us off.
It's a life straw.
Yeah.
So let's say if I'm like lost in, I don't know, like the Peak Districts or something. If my only source of water is like a boggy, little pond or something, or
So I've got a scenario where you're currently lost on top of Kinder Scout.
that's right.
And you've not got any water.
All I have is those, those streams where the water's like brown. That's all I've got to drink.
Right.
So I'd want this because I'd rather live life and death.
You'd rather drink through that than
Yeah.
drink peat like water.
Basically, yeah.
No, I agree in that sense.
Okay.
You've brought this up, so I assume you've got an idea, don't you?
Yeah,
what
I
you're gonna
really
say.
wanted one. And I bought one 2 years ago. Cost me about 30 quid.
30 quid.
Yeah, I don't think they're worth it.
I'm going to
was
fact check.
That was just for the attachment, not the bottle. And I just think for the Peak District, it's not worth it. I wouldn't trust this with peat water anyway. And in the peaks, I feel like we'd be close enough to civilization to not die. Whereas if we were in the Cairngorms, for example, and we got lost, I would trust the Scottish water enough to drink it without a life straw.
It is nice.
Scottish
Scottish water is.
So
I'll ask you a question then. How many times have you actually used it?
twice.
But did you need to use it either of those times?
No,
So you've just used it essentially for...
because I bought it.
Because you bought it, so
Because
you've
I
never
bought
actually
it.
had to use
No,
it.
I've never taken it to Scotland.
Yeah,
because
interesting.
I knew Scottish water is drinkable. And I've never used it in brown Peak District water because I just thought it'd taste horrible.
It would taste horrible as well.
I need 30 seconds and you're struggling to...
So for the price of one of these, and a comment to last video actually raised that there are better filters on the market. Life straw, done.
Okay.
Your go.
Right, so for my item, I have got
MREs.
MREs, meals ready to eat.
Where have you got them from?
Got these from Go Outdoors.
Go outdoors. Right, okay. We're going to do the cards?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I count as an Isaac?
3, 2, 1.
Are we unanimous?
I think
Yes.
Yeah.
Triple kill.
Go for it.
Triple overrated.
They're a bit.
Go on, lad. Start.
They're a bit overrated. So when I started wild camping, I saw these in like Go Outdoor shops, and I thought they were really cool. They're a bit like military MREs. So every time I went wild camping, I thought I'll always bring one of these with me. But they're just expensive, and over time, I've just realised that it's just cheaper just to get like canned food. So this is a can of baked beans from Aldi, and it were 30p. It's the exact same food, whereas this were 5 quid. So
I think what I don't get about the Go Outdoors thing is all of the meals are the exact same price. So you've got like a fairly okay meal like meatballs and pasta for £5, but then you've got beans and sausages costing you like a £5. I think they're having you on a little bit there, Go Outdoors. Have you got anything to add?
Yeah, I
Have you?
don't like them for our trips because we tend to go for one night. I do think if you're going to do a kind of 3-day trip, 5-day trip,
Yeah.
where you've got a source of water, the dehydrated ones might be worth it for easy portion control and not carrying all that weight.
Feel with this, you miss the thing that I enjoy about wild camping the most, and that's the kind of social aspect when you're cooking around a fire, or you're all together with your stoves cooking, making a soup, that sort of thing. And
satisfaction of putting a steak on a fire.
That's so fun, isn't it? And I think with these, you just miss that like collaborative part of wild camping.
With these, you can literally just eat them cold. Just shovel it in.
So that is another bonus, isn't it? Verdict with these meals ready to eat, potentially good if you're doing like a really, really long camp. But for your average camper who's just doing overnighters, they're just a little bit overpriced. And once you know what you're doing, you're better cooking your own stuff. Alright, my turn. What are you doing here?
I'm hungry.
No!
I'm hungry. Leave me.
Finally, we've got item number, what are we on? 3. I thought I'd raise, because I thought it'd be a good discussion, ultralight foam style mat. And I'm specifically going to pick the accordion style mat. We ready with the cards? You put your beans down. Is it beans?
No, it's meatballs and pasta.
3, 2, 1, go. Right, okay, this is interesting. You've gone for overrated, just plain. Do you want to start?
So, when I started wild camping, I did use ultralight roll mat.
Was it like this?
Yeah, it were like that. It were really cheap, to be honest. And one night I slept in it and just my back were killing. And bear in mind, we were on flat ground as well, so I get it. Yeah, that they're ultralight, so you know you can carry them. You know, no, they don't agree with my back.
Absolute grim night's sleep. Go on.
See, I've had this mat for about 13 years. This is what I camped with as a kid, and it's what I still prefer to take. They're just so reliable. I don't think it's worth investing 70 quid in an inflatable one. They're not the most comfortable, they're not the most warm, but for the weight, the price, and the life length.
Fair.
Foam.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying though, because you've said 70 quid. I said that's daft, but actually some of the inflatable mats are close to that price.
Never spent that, but
you can pay like silly amounts for them, can't you?
stands.
I went for mixed, and the reason I went for mixed is because I used to have Isaac's opinion on these. For the past couple of years, have kind of been converted to inflatable mats. Until very, very recently. So winter's just been, and we've done a lot of winter wild camping. And I basically worked out that I'm taking this, which is relatively lightweight. This is the Alpkit Cloud Base. I can combine it with this mat, and you've got a mixture of being more comfortable than either on their own. Not horrendously heavy, because this is about 350 grams. I'm estimating this, I'll put your calculation on the screen. This is about 400 grams. So we're talking about 700 grams in total. But the beautiful thing of this is when you combine sleeping mats, you get to add the R values together.
Still more lightweight than the other roll mats, the other inflatable ones.
And that's crazy, isn't it? So I can take two of these and it's still going to be lighter than some of the other roll mats we've got. Let's go grab this bad boy.
They're about a kilogram.
Which is obviously heavier than these bad boys combined. And the final point I'll make is obviously if you are into your ultralight camping, then getting one of these and having it in your cupboard if you ever do one of those crazy long distance trips and everything weight wise matters, you got it for that purpose. But for me, a mix of both is absolutely fantastic and ideal and really cheap as well. Yeah. Item number 4, it's your go.
So rather than a specific object, I've gone for a concept. I'm going to introduce car clothes.
What are we calling them? Car clothes.
Car clothes.
What clothes that you wear in the car?
Explain.
Okay, so you get home from a 2-day trip. You've been cold all night. You've got blistery feet. You're a little bit soggy, kind of below the knees from walking through a marsh. Get back to the car, strip off in a car park. If it's winter, you chuck on a pair of pyjamas or joggers and a cosy fleece. And if it's summer, just like nice pair of shorts. What is crucial? Fluffy socks.
Well, I know what your rating's going to be, so me and Az can do the rating for what we call them car clothes.
Car clothes.
And the idea is you come back to your car, do these stay in your car?
Yeah, so you don't take them with you. They stay in the car in a carry bag.
So you got fresh clothes in your car for when you get back?
Yep.
Cool, alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Have you gone for a mix?
So I've gone for mix.
You've gone for mix.
Okay. Why have I not sold it to you, Isaac?
So underrated. I get what you mean. You know, when you're like cold and wet, you just want to get into dry clothes. But there comes a point when you're out camping. You've hit that point where you know you're so like soggy and wet. You almost kind of get numb to it. And when you get to the car and you think, all right, we're gonna go home. I'd rather just get in the car and then just go home.
I think it depends on the... So if it's 30 minutes, then you might go, I'll just get home and get showered and make a difference.
Whereas if we're in like
If you're
Scotland and
somewhere
we've
far,
got a 5-hour drive, then yeah, fair enough.
I went for underrated for the same reason as Isaac's saying. I don't personally take car clothes, but every time I have taken car clothes and had a carry bag in the car, I have really appreciated it.
Feels amazing.
There's no downside to it because it's in your car. You're not carrying it with you. Chuck a fresh t-shirt on. It depends on the car park, but you could chuck a fresh pair of pants on if you wanted to. But to be honest, I don't do this regularly because I'm not that organised. This is your item. Have you got anything to add?
Yeah. No, like you said, you don't have to worry about the weight or even the waterproof ability of the clothes. Literally, pyjamas would be fantastic. I would highly recommend it, but you can sometimes stick it out. So
for those soggy days, it's really good. Yeah. Is that
if
the
you're
verdict?
planning a winter trip.
Yeah. I've gathered a collection of items in front of me to confuse you both. So the item I'm going to talk about is one I found. Well, I didn't find it, did you? You actually bought it for me. But I found it earlier in Go Outdoors just so I could work out how much it cost. So this is the Noctilite. Noctilite? I call it Noctilite from Petzl. And I guess we'll have opinions before I talk through it because I don't want to give anything away. 3, 2, 1, go. What does that mean?
I don't know what it is.
Oh, right, okay. What did you go for?
Underrated.
So 2 underrateds and then Isaac, you just got...
I don't know what it is.
You don't know what it is. Right, okay, I'll start then, I'll explain what it is. The problem we were having is, I'm not an ultralight camper, but I'm conscious about what I'm taking weight-wise. So, most important thing, light-wise, is going to be a head torch, because that's what's going to be attached to you, and you're going to be... Check that out. And you're going to be taking that with you, that's going to be on your noggin pretty much all the time. But when you get in your tent, because I tent camp most of the time, I wanted something to just essentially hang in the tent for when we're just about to go to sleep. And I've been through quite a few camping lanterns in my time, and they're one of them things that you find them in, Tesco, Aldi, Lidl, and the quality of camping lanterns just varies so dramatically. So I've got like a relatively cheap one here, which it does the job, and it does light the tent up for a decent amount of time, but the problem I had with this is it ran out of battery too quick. And then I've got a really, really heavy duty lantern over here, which is super bright, and it like lights up the entire forest. So to be honest, if it's short distance, I'll probably be taking this. But this is super heavy. Well, I'll weigh it and then I'll put it on the screen, but it's super heavy, this. I'll take that when I'm going like in a cave or something, but for those like regular trips, it's just too heavy. And this is the Noctilite, and it's not actually a light. It's essentially just a case. And that sounds daft. Actually, it's a fancy case for your head torch, which you're already taking, and then your head torch goes inside the case.
Oh, right. So
basically what it does is it diffuses the light a little bit more. And when I first saw this as an item, I was like, oh, it's a massive gimmick, because why would I pay that much money for what is essentially just a bit of plastic? But after using it, I really like it. That hangs up in your tent and it'll light your tent up, and you're already taking your head torch, and you've got plenty of batteries because you're already taking batteries for your head torch, and it's just one less kind of item to worry about. And then obviously, as it's in my bag, that's my head torch case, and it's not adding substantial weight, and it's all one little unit.
To be honest, that actually looks pretty useful. Like, not only it's a case, but it's also a lantern that you can hang. 2 birds, 1 stone.
2 birds, 1 stone. The one thing that might change your rating is how much it costs.
Right, how much is that then?
So April got this for 13 quid, and you're obviously thinking 13 quid for what is essentially a case is expensive.
I love to research this sort of stuff, so I had a little spreadsheet out. This sprung up as cheap, lightweight, fits perfectly with this. And I couldn't find any reviews on this online. There might have been 2 from some American guy.
I think it is a relatively new item.
I think it was incredibly underrated.
If you're going to be buying a camping lighting anyway, this was way more expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah, so this one was maybe £40.
Wow. I know it is just a case, but if you're spending money on a lantern anyway,
I think going back to that though, the case, because I know what it is.
You know what it is now, yeah.
I'd say underrated.
You quite like it now?
Yeah, I think it's worth it then.
An interesting item. Let me know if you buy this in the comments. Okay, final item.
Right, so my final item.
What's going on here?
So what I've got is my uncle. He made me a fire starting kit.
Wow.
It's basically got a couple of tools in. I've got flint and steel, got matches, candle.
Are we rating the fire starting kit or?
No, we're actually rating this.
One bit of the kit.
This, it's portable telescopic bellow. You basically, you go up to the fire and then you just blow air into the fire and it helps it grow. These things are really lightweight, it can fit in your pocket. I have it in my fire starting kit.
I feel like you're sold already, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Are we unanimous underrated?
All underrated.
Aha! I don't mind starting because I actually do own one of these as well. So I think I bought one of these because I've seen you using it. So Isaac uses this at our parents' house to light the fire in the house. And then our uncle chucked it in the fire starting kit, and to be fair, it works just as well outside. Obviously, fires need oxygen. You can just blow on a fire using your lungs, but it's so light and so small. I do just think the weight is negligible, and it makes it so much easier to get a fire going, especially when it's tricky conditions like it's wet or it's really cold in winter.
If I'm being honest, ever since I bought that, I have never been camping without it. And every time we've made a fire, I've always used it.
We've got a fire going every single time with one of these, haven't we? So
it's a game changer.
What would the price be for one of these?
I think I paid about £5, probably not even that.
Yeah, so cheap.
They're cheap.
We've got to
Yeah, I didn't know they existed. They are dangerous if you give them to a bit of a pyromaniac. But they are very good.
Generally just an underrated item. If you've not got one of these and you are lighting fires, consider it, I guess. And obviously, if you are lighting fires, do it where it's not going to wind anyone up. Do it sensibly. Don't do it when the floor's dry. All this will be in the description. But apart from that, we've done our 6 items. I've been different, hasn't it? I've enjoyed it. So if you agree with anything we've said, obviously comment section for that. If you disagree with anything we've said, whack it in the comments. What are we doing here?
I'm going to do an outro.
Go on, right. I've had enough.